Thank you for tuning in to the Republican Roundtable. I'm Jacqueline America. Speaking Proudly is a nonpartisan, nonprofit project of Metro Republican women. Saturday, this coming November 8th, 24 high school girls from across the state of Minnesota will meet at the state capitol for the 4th Biennial Speaking Proudly Oratory competition. The competitors' challenge will be to deliver a well-rehearsed, persuasive speech on the topic, the consent of the governed in America's 250th year. The girls will deliver their speeches in front of 3 different panels of judges. They will tour the state capitol, and they will win cash prizes. So, we have some lovely guests with us today. Sherry Wallace is a member of the Metro Republican Women, and she's also on the competition committee. Rita Olson is a competition judge, and Lane Anderson is a 2023 student participant. So thank you for being here, ladies.
Thank you.
Great. It's very excited to hear about the project. Sherry, will you start us off? Tell us what the history is. Where did the idea of Speaking Proudly come from?
The idea came with asking ourselves in Metro Republican Women of how can we reward young girls, high school girls, for speaking up for America. And at first, should there be a written essay? But one woman in our group had worked around the state to run competitive speaking tournaments for high school students. So let's just do a speaking oratory contest. And this then had started 8 years ago. We do this competition every other year. And it is to reach out to any high school girls. We have room for 24. And it's held at the state capitol, as you said. But it's a very powerful event in which we also want to reward these girls for speaking. So the rewards are $6,000 we raise, and for the first, second, and third prize speeches.
Where do you come up with the topics? How is that?
Well,
research?
We spend a lot of time thinking about the topic, what's going on in the country today, what is an issue, but it's all about the U.S. Constitution.
Oh,
and we've done a variety of things, but this year we've felt, especially on the verge of this country being 250 years old,
wow, yeah,
that we really want to look at the consent of the governed. Is this government now really listening to the individuals that live here, the citizens that are here, because and that's what the Constitution asked for.
Sure.
We must have the consent of the governed in how we create laws and how we govern the whole country. And we just felt that was very fitting. It also demands that the girls do a lot of research and they really think carefully and have some strategic thinking about what this history has been about and what this means to have the consent of the governed.
Sure. And how do you find the girls?
That is a big challenge for us, and we are reaching out to mothers and grandmothers and families because these girls can be in homeschool, they can be in a public school, in a private school, but it takes a special type of a girl to really have the strength and the courage to speak in the Capitol and to really do all this research. The 8-minute speeches are usually done without notes, but memorized, and just having a lot of emphasis on their research, and they have to follow some guidelines that we give them, and this is all written out in the website, speakingproudly.org. And the goal is to really bring out the best in these girls and to really reward these fantastic speeches.
Sure. Well, Rita, how are you involved with picking out the 24 finalists, or how does that work?
Well, this is my 4th year of being a judge, my 4th time around. First time I was asked to be a judge, and I thought, well, this is a good adventure. We're going to see what this is all about. And the girls that competed were incredible. And so for the 3 years I've done it, they are wonderful. They give you so much hope as to their skill sets. I often think, if this opportunity had been available when I was in high school, I would have probably been one that jumped at it. Yeah. Nervous, scared. I know you did it in 23, right?
Yes.
And it's just really heartwarming. It's wonderful to see. So I'm a judge, my 4th year being a judge. We have what's called a blind competition. So when the contestant walks into the room, we don't know their party affiliation. We have no idea. We don't know where they're from. We don't know if they're from Pipestone, Thief River Falls, or St. Paul. We have no idea. We don't know if they're homeschooled, public school. We have no idea. So it's just really wonderful to see the talent that these girls bring and their creativity. I'm always just so impressed with their topics and what direction they take. That's the part I love the most, is their creativity. I taught for 25 plus years at post-secondary college, and so I've heard a lot of people give presentations, and these girls are well worth to come and watch, because I think the public does get an opportunity. We can maybe discuss that, but they can have an opportunity to listen to these finalists at the end at the Capitol.
Sure. And some of the speeches are online on the website too.
Well, right now you can see from the past 3 competitions, the 3 winning speeches that came in first place.
Yeah, they are phenomenal.
And the judges definitely are very impressed by these girls.
Well, Lane, how did you get involved? What has your experience been? And give us some details. What was it like to compete, and how did you get involved?
Yeah. Well, I actually found out about Speaking Proudly from a teacher of mine at a homeschool co-op. So I had no idea about the competition prior to her coming up to me and saying, I'm going to start this class to prepare you for a speaking competition. Would you be interested? And I said, yes, I would be interested. I would love to do this. So that is how I got to know what this competition was. My experience, oh my goodness, it was just so lovely. I think what really made this particular competition special was the fact that it was at the Capitol, and how many people get to speak at the Capitol. Right. And it was with girls who were my own age, and they had something to say. And so it was just so special to be in a group with girls cheering each other on and saying, you got it, you're gonna do so great, and to speak about topics that we were really passionate about. So it was just
What was your topic? What did you write on?
So the theme that year was securing the blessings of liberty, and so my topic was reigniting the youth's passion for politics. That was my theme.
Okay. All right. And did you receive any coaching, or what?
Yes. So like I said, the teacher, Miss Sandberg, she started the class, and that was pretty much coaching in both speaking and also writing the speech. So we had, I think, about 5 months from January to June to really hone our speech. I think I had about 8 to 9 rough drafts before I finally landed on the speech that I wanted to speak on. So we just reviewed, I think, Abraham Lincoln's speeches, some of the past winners of Speaking Proudly. We looked at their speeches and we analyzed what they were doing with rhetoric, with ethos, pathos, and logos, and just how to give a speech, how to project properly, and how to articulate well. So I received quite a bit of coaching, and I owe it to Miss Sandberg.
Yeah. Was it pretty intimidating to perform?
Yes, it was so intimidating. I did theater when I was younger, and that of
helps
course,
a little bit.
Yeah, helps a little bit, but it's like all eyes on you, and people are listening to what you have to say and a speech that you've written, not what somebody else has written. So it's another level of, not stress, but maybe nerves.
Sure.
People are critiquing what you have to say, but I think just speaking on the House floor, it's nerve-wracking, but it is so well worth it. It's such a good experience.
I think that's an important thing to mention. Last year, or 2023, was the first time the Capitol allowed us to use the House of Representatives for the girls to be at the podium and at the speaker's dais, and to really give their speech there. And it was really a big plus for all the girls. So every one of the girls was able to speak in the House of Representatives.
Well, Rita, what are some of the critiques? What are some of the, do you have a sheet that you're looking for, or how do you judge the girls?
We have a sheet that they tell us the time, because it's got to be done 8 minutes, right? And boy, they nail it. They do a great job getting right underneath that 8-minute mark. But the sheet has I want to say there was only like 5 or 6 things that we look at, the criteria. And I'm usually looking for content, how they present it, like their outline, how they do it, because I want to be able to follow what they're saying and so forth. It's persuasive, so it's like if I agree or disagree with what they might be saying, I want to know how they're going to persuade me, and so I listen for that. I know we talked about memorization versus notes, and they are allowed notes to have some of the notes, but I, as a judge, I watch to make sure that they're making that eye contact, that they're connecting with everybody in that room and so forth. You don't want to be reading, but notes are okay. So I don't want anybody to get really overly scared of going, to memorize it. And some of them are completely memorized. So those are the kinds of things I look for: content, presentation, and we do have to watch their time.
Sure. All right. Well, the competition happens every 2 years.
Yes.
So what all entails works up into what? Why isn't every year? What's the point of every 2 years?
Because we're all volunteers.
Okay.
And it takes 2 years to plan this.
Sure,
We have
lot of
30
planning.
judges involved.
Oh, okay.
And we have 40 volunteers who are all around the Capitol to make sure no one gets lost, because
Sure.
it's very carefully timed in that, because each girl has 8 minutes, and then we allow the judges time to make their decision on what score the girls get. But then in the middle of this all, the girls get a tour of the Capitol. And that is really, they say it's usually the best time of the whole event. And I thought, well, why is that the best time? Well, it's because they're not worried about their speech.
Sure.
They're just going on this tour. And then everyone has lunch. We feed everyone lunch. So that is
nice.
a Capitol, that is one of the rules of the Capitol, that you cannot bring in lunch. People cannot have their own sack lunch, but it is something that we make sure to deal with their food service.
Sure.
To deal with that. It also means it makes it a more expensive event, but clearly if people are there all day, it
has to be catered to the Capitol and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a great tour.
But I do want to mention the Rotunda event, which is at the final end of the day. You've got the scores of all the girls, and we pick the top 3 speeches that then have to be given to the final judging panel. And so by that time, every girl is given their speech 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And so the one at a time, the 3 best, highest scoring speeches are given. And then we listen for who's the first, second, and third. So the first prize is $2,500. The second
nice.
prize is $2,000. The third prize is $1,500.
Wow.
But that is all possible because people think this is such a exceptional contest that people are making those donations for Speaking Proudly. And
Sure.
it just really makes it, we're rewarding the girls for speaking up for America.
Yeah, what a great opportunity for young women too. So if people wanted to help out with that, is there a section on your website or?
There is. It's all on the website, all the tips for the girls, and also exactly the score sheet that the
Oh, okay,
judges
so they can see
use, so
that
the
too.
girls
That
are going
helps.
to see exactly what. And then donations, you can make donations on the website
Okay.
and find out more. But the girls then, how they apply is by writing an outline of their speech, or just sort of a summary and then an outline of their speech. And that is what we, as the Speaking Proudly organizers, decide which 24 girls will be allowed to be part of the competition.
Okay, sure. Well, Lane, what is one of your most memorable things about participating?
Ooh, I would say standing in front of the judges in the House chamber and just looking up at the people, because there's a gallery, so your family and your friends can come and watch you, which I think makes it even more nerve-wracking.
Sure.
But looking up and seeing my family in the gallery, and then looking down at the judges' faces, they're very stern and they're just writing down everything. That would probably be one of the most memorable things. I think also another memorable part of the day is definitely touring the Capitol, and I would say the girls that I was just with, they were such a wonderful group. They were so encouraging, and we all just became such fast friends. So
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. So currently you're attending college?
yes, I am.
What would you say, how has this experience helped you out in just a few years that
Yeah.
you were in 2023, so
Yes.
not terribly far away, but how is that, do you look back on that time? Does that help you with anything in your current life?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is articulation of what I am thinking. I think it's so difficult to really just portray what your ideas are and do so in a way where other people can understand. So I think this competition really has helped me to articulate my thoughts well and to portray this is what I'm thinking and do so in a way where you can understand me. I would say that's one of the biggest things, especially in college when you have professors and you have to write an email about something you're confused. So
Sure. Well, Rita, what since you've been a judge for
This will be my fourth time.
fourth time, okay. What are some of the memorable speeches that you've heard?
Oh boy, you're putting me really on the spot there because you multiply how many I've heard. I think instead of pinpointing a certain topic area, because every year it's a different topic, I think what I find so fascinating is the directions that people go in their speeches. You know, the gals, the direction. And I don't know if I can articulate it as well as I should, but they'll come up with something. I mean, I'm excited to hear, you know, what does it mean by the consent of the governed? And they'll go down past, they'll use personal experiences, they'll use observations. They do have to use quotes. They have to cite.
Research, yep.
Research and cite while they're speaking, and so you know you listen for those kinds of things. But again, that's part of the persuasion piece. So to say that there's one thing that stood out, what stands out the most is just the creativity. The skill sets and the talents that are presented to us as judges. It's a wonderful opportunity for me too.
Sure, sounds fun.
It is.
And you can see the top speeches of the past 3 contests, right? You can just listen to them and see them on the website, and it's very amazing.
And so it's from all just topics that kind of fall into that main topic.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The topic is something about the Constitution. In every contest, it's different.
Sure.
So.
Is this basically just from the Metro Republican Women, or are there people from all over different groups that are helping out with this, or is it just sponsored by the
Let's see,
Metro?
we've had a wide variety of people wanting to help us, and definitely people from all over are contributing.
Oh,
And
good.
it's very heartwarming that people believe in what we're doing. It costs about $20,000 each competition, not only the prize money, but paying for all the lunches and then reaching out and doing a lot of promotional work, written material, and afterwards we get the girls to going on to different radio stations to talk about, either give their speech or just talk about what the experience was for them.
Sure. All right, so is this open to the public? Did they sell tickets? Or?
Well, actually, that's a good idea, but no, we invite everyone to come to the Rotunda event, which is listening to the top 3 speeches that day. What the judges decided were those top 3 speeches, and it's open to the public. So the beautiful rotunda there, we have chairs set up. Oftentimes it's standing room only, that you get to hear these incredible speeches and also get to meet the individuals who are part of the competition.
Wow, okay. So,
yeah.
what would help to find more, what would be a good resource, or how would you suggest if young women get involved? Or how can, I know that it sounds like you're having a little problem finding or getting the word out. Or
These are, it's a challenge to find these girls that are brave enough, first of all, to give the speech
yeah,
and
it's
to write it
intimidating.
and to just push through the whole issues about speaking in front of a group. Some girls have said, well, I'm used to speaking at the school gymnasium with our speaking contest, but this is a Capitol. I've never been there before. I've never been in those rooms. But it's, we're going after mothers and grandmothers
Okay.
in hopes that they would say about the children, the high schoolers that they know, you would be able to give this. It's a great speech. It's a big challenge. And we think you'd learn a lot from it. So, and you're going to have a prize at the end if you're really the best. So,
And it sounds like it's all backgrounds as well. People
Yes,
from homeschooling and schools and private or parochial
it's
schools.
about a third are public schools, a third of the girls that are entering this contest are private schools, and a third are homeschooling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What is there any other thing you can think of that would help get the word out to come help out, or
because this deals with the Constitution, so people very interested in government, we're going to them and talking about this competition. But the prize money itself really is attractive, and oftentimes the girls will say, that's what got me involved right away. That's why I wanted to do this. And my speech teacher told me about this. So we are reaching out to to the school systems and letting the teachers know that along with all the other speaking contests that they prepare their students for, that this is another one with quite a big prize.
okay. So, and it's not like a scholarship. It's more cash prizes. So they could use it for going on trips or
Yes.
towards paying their college books, or
Yeah.
do they even use books anymore? Maybe an iPad.
Some time online, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
it's interesting too, because it's important to be able to speak and to use sentences. I mean, our society, we're always on the phone. You don't even have to write a sentence. You can just use 3 letters. And if you have a son and you're lucky, you'll get an answer back with 1 letter. But it's really nice to see, and watching a couple of the speeches on the website, on it just blows your mind how they took the topic into the area, what it was, and just
Right.
the confidence and the ideas of young women. It's really nice to see, because like, again, everyone's on the internet, and what do you see on the internet? It's just evil. I'll be okay.
And the competitors say it was so much fun to, like Lane was saying, to listen to the other speeches, because they had the same challenge. They all had the same challenge, and how the speeches are so different.
What I observed as a judge is how, so like for instance, you gave the speech, is it a total of 3 times? I have to apologize.
Yeah, 3
Okay.
times, and then the winners end up.
So that'd be the fourth time, okay.
Yes.
So like for instance, as a judge, I'm in a room and there's like 8 of us, 8 to 10 judges, and so then Lane would come in and she, with the rest of the contestants, and they would encourage each other. I mean, sometimes, because you can't applaud. You can't clap. Judges, we cannot give any indication of one way or the other what we felt about this speech. And so it's hard for the contestants. They want to, no, I can't, clap. And so they really do build some bonds. Would you agree?
Yes,
build a
very
lot
much.
of,
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
wonderful.
That's great.
We resorted to sign language hand
Oh,
clapping.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that
Right.
sounds fun.
And to also reinforce, this is statewide. Even though it's held at the state capitol, the contestants can come all over across the state. I think sometimes when people hear, oh, it's at the capitol, it's for the metro. No, it's statewide, and we encourage people to come from all over the state, contestants from all over. So it's just really great. As you can see, I love it. I hope that I can be the judge for the next, 10, 12, whatever contest and stuff, because I love what you do. I love what you did there and so forth. So it's great.
Well, it sounds like it's really a great opportunity for young women to meet each other, to get experience and to take part in Minnesota, our great capital too. So it's really great. What a great idea. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. Very interesting, great stories, and I wish you all the best too. So, and so you want to check out your
So
website?
just want to say it's, again, November 8th on a Saturday. And there aren't a lot of legislators around in November, so we really take over the whole state capitol. And the money is real, and although you can't exchange money at the capitol, they get a big check.
And your website is?
Speakingproudly.org.
Okay, great.
Could you mention, when is the application deadline again?
Applications, we are taking them from August 1st to September 15th.
Okay.
Okay.
We are paying attention to, there's probably not much going on thinking about speeches in the summer, but we want to give that window for them to apply.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again for tuning into the Republican Roundtable. We'll see you next time. Take care.